So, Fortnite Chapter 2 is here, and currently Epic Games have decided to not give us any patch notes, which means we have been discovering everything new within this brand new world by ourselves. And I'm going to share with you guys right here, right now, 10 things that are brand new in Fortnite that you have to do, and a lot of these are secret that you probably won't know about. If you want to open up a legendary weapon in your very next chest in Fortnite, hit that like button, and I will be sending you personally good luck vibes so you get it. And on top of that, subscribe for the latest Fortnite Chapter 2 news. Make sure you're using code ALIA if you are buying the Battle Pass or anything that's new in the store. And without further ado, let's jump into it with number 1. Now, though there's a lot of new things in Chapter 2, a lot of old things have been removed, and currently we are only left with the bandages, the med kit, the minis, and the half pot. Proper OG healables here. However, we're missing things like the slurp, the chug splash, and the chug jug. But did you know you can actually access these anyway through the map itself? Dotted all over the map, but found predominantly within slurpy swamps, you can actually get yourself the effects of those old consumables by either breaking barrels, but it's not limited to just breaking barrels, as you can also break trucks that are holding the slurp, or you can even throw yourself into the water, which has also got slurp juice leaking into it, or any of the larger barrels that is actually producing the slurp. So basically, lots of ways to interact with the map to get the effects of old items, and can actually be found all over the map, so it can be very useful if you're caught late game with no healables, but you spot part of these maps to get yourself some extra health and shield. Number 2, we've got ourselves a brand new chest and also a brand new ammo box. You may have noticed around the map chests that look a little bit different. These are basically upgraded chests. As you know, within the previous season, if you landed in the block, you could get yourself a legendary chest. Now, throughout the map, you can get the normal chest and also the slightly upgraded one. Essentially, any chest spawn has a chance to be the upgraded chest. There's no specific spots to go to. Just gotta get a little bit lucky. If you open these up, you'll get yourself a consumable, an explosive, and a weapon. So basically, far better loot. This also carries across to the larger ammo boxes, which are double in size and will drop a load of ammo and sometimes even some shield and some consumables as well. So those are also super useful. Keep a keen eye out for all of these to get yourself those better loot and something brand new in this season. Number 3, one of my favorite things that Fortnite have done is actually compress down and simplifies all of the weapons that are in the game. Obviously, loads of weapons have been vaulted and removed, but essentially we now have clear linear lines all the way from grey up until legendary for every weapon in the game. Pistols, snipers, shotguns, you name it. I'm sure you found a lot of them already. However, found at named locations is a very weird interactable machine that will actually go ahead and upgrade your weapons in exchange for materials. Now, this can get very expensive, but you can see on screen here me upgrading a grey pistol all the way up to a legendary pistol, which by the way is extremely powerful. Each time the cost going up in material price, and you've got to pay the same amount in wood, brick, and metal, so it certainly isn't cheap to do. But if you want to upgrade that pump and make it epic or legendary, this is a great way to do it. So if you ever see one of these machines, note it in your head, because it's going to be very useful at some point when you want to do some upgrading if you've got some spare materials. Number 4, if you find yourself in a pinch and you have no materials or very low materials, originally in Fortnite, if you broke anything that had been placed down, you got absolutely nothing for it. Those materials have been used. Now, however, either your own or enemy buildings can actually be broken down, and you will get a return of mats. Now, I can't lie, it's not the greatest return of mats, but if you are in a build fight end game and you're running in really low or running out, just start breaking the stuff that all of you guys have been placing, and you will start to replenish those materials slowly but surely. It could come in clutch. It could save you one day. Just saying, if you didn't know about it, you heard it here first. And if I get you that victory royale, then free of charge. It's all good. Don't worry. Stick around for even more tips as well, though, guys. Within the current Chapter 2 world, there is very limited mobility. We don't have bounce pads, we don't have launch pads, shockwaves, impulses, none of that. However, boats are the big new traversable item, and with there being lots of lakes and waterways, it is a very awesome way to get around. However, did you know you can actually take these boats on land, and if you use the boost feature properly, you can still get around fairly quickly. It's a good way of going from water to land and actually getting across, especially the flat open areas, fairly fast in a way that probably shouldn't be used, but it does work effectively at the moment. I believe with so much of the map not only having water, but very notable and prominently marked on the map roadways, I am very, very sure that we would get actual drivable vehicles, more like normal cars at some point throughout this season. So stay tuned here on the channel to hear about that first and see what other items come to the game. Number 6, probably one of my favorite things that has been added just because it's ridiculous, is the fact that you can hide in items. Now, we saw that within the Battle Pass trailer. You can hide in very specific dump trucks or like dumpsters and jump out and surprise people. And once you're in it, like, there's literally no way of seeing you. However, that also traverses across to hay bales as well. Now, not only these great ways of surprising enemies, but they actually double up as a very cool feature to save you from getting any fall damage. As you can see here, I was in the middle of an actual game and I built up fairly high to a point where I would definitely have been eliminated and knocked out because of the falling damage. However, if you spam whatever button you've got mapped to actually interact, once you fall, and as long as you're close enough to that item that you can hide in, you just get sucked in, you don't take any fall damage, and could save you one day. I mean, it's unlikely you're going to get shot down over one of them, but just in case you do, use it to your advantage. And again, just saying, could get you that victory royale. Number 7, this, you know what, I've said my favorite thing already, but this is also very, very fun. It's actually the ability to lift up not only your teammates that are knocked down, but also enemies. Now, the first time I did this, I got some friends in squads and got them to build me a massive ramp, and you literally yeet people so far. I believe the in-game code for this actual like movement mechanic is literally called yeet. That is what you are doing to people, chucking them on your back and lobbing them. You can get this really funny perspective here of me just throwing someone off of a ramp. You see, as soon as they hit the ground, that is them. They are absolutely gone. Although you can use it to mess around with enemies, yes, it does have also a practical ability to throw your teammates. It doesn't matter how high you throw them, they will not take full damage, so you can't troll them that way. But it's a good way to get them out of a sticky situation and move them fairly quickly, and a really cool new feature for Chapter 2. Number 8. Now, we all know that fishing's in the game. With it being a grey item, they're fairly easy to find, and I would love for there to be more things like this in the seasons going ahead, because it's just actually really fun. Now, you may not know that actually the fishing rod can be used also on enemies or your teammates. It doesn't have the greatest effect in the world, but it will move them back towards you a little bit. In fact, we managed to get 2 synced up on a teammate and pull them back at the same time, and it did increase the effect actually. So if you manage to get your whole squad like literally fishing rod people, you can actually move them quite far. But in more practical uses, fishing rods can actually find yourself fish if you go to the little areas where you see the water rippling out. Those fish can give you healables or shield, and then on top of that you can also get yourself random weapons, items and ammo, and just essentially a cool thing to do, especially at the beginning of a game if you want to find yourself some loot fairly quickly and all you've got is a silly little grey fishing rod. I love it. I'm pretty sure myself and almost every YouTuber is going to be attempting a fishing rod only challenge. Stay tuned on the channel for that. I don't think it's going to be easy, but it will be very fun. At number 9, this is probably one of the most obvious ones, but also has some really cool features, which is the ability to swim and also dive. First of all, if you dive in the water, you can actually get yourself a little bit of momentum, and it's far quicker than just trying to swim. So diving constantly in and out and getting that momentum boost is a really fast way to get around if you don't have a boat near you. But doubling up on that, very similar in the way to being able to hide in actual new items and places, you can basically throw yourself and dive off anything, and as long as you're landing in a part of water that is swimmable in, you aren't going to take any fall damage. So multiple things that are really good to know in the back of your head for not taking fall damage, because with there being no launch pads, bounce pads or anything to get you out of a very sticky situation up high, I know myself and probably you guys as well has been shot down multiple times in a big build battle because there's not really an easy way of getting out of it. But if there's water below you, if there's a hay bale below you, jump inside it and you'll be fine. Number 10. Last but not least is a very unique weapon that has been added in brand new to Chapter 2, and that is basically the bandage bazooka. You've probably seen it, you may have even used it, but it has a very unique effect, which is the fact that it takes up 2 slots in your inventory. This is something that I think has been talked about all the way since the beginning of OG Season 1. It's actually something that takes up more than 1 slot, and this item is deserving of that because it is very, very useful. Not only can you shoot bandages at your teammates, which heals them really, really quickly, you can use it on yourself and heal yourself really, really quickly. But if your teammates are down, you can also shoot it at them as well to get their health up so they don't get eliminated quite as quickly. If their knockdown points are going lower and lower and lower, it basically is multiple effects. And if it wasn't taking up 2 slots in your inventory, this would be the go-to item to have all the time. You wouldn't need any bandages, you wouldn't need any med kits, because this thing heals ridiculously fast. I'm also pretty sure that this is opening up the gateway to many more items in the future that are also going to have 2 slots in your inventory, and this is only the beginning. Obviously, Chapter 2 is brand new, it is fresh, it is new. And imagine how much Fortnite OG Season 1 changed from Season 1 to Season 10. That is the kind of changes, and that is the kind of new things we'll see introduced from now for probably the next 2 years, all the way to Chapter 3. But that's a little bit far ahead of time, guys. If you have enjoyed this list, and there was one thing on here that maybe you didn't know about that now you do, please do support this video by giving it a big fat thumbs up. Again, thanks to everyone using code AliA. And if you want to see my very first Victory Royale in Chapter 2, then check it out on screen here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm going to go back and play myself some more Chapter 2 and explore that map and make sure it's all unlocked. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have been amazing. And I'll see you right here on the channel very soon for another video. Adios.